Hello there, and welcome back to the Ottomans. Currently, we have two wars going. We have finally gotten ourselves going with Muscovy and Denmark to be exact. Denmark actually starting to get quite high war exhaustion, or a little high, not really that much. And as a result of that, we might actually be able to piece them out prematurely here. That would actually be wonderful, because this navy is definitely Denmark's. Anyways, that doesn't really matter. What we are going to do is try and block Muscovy from ever starting colonization. They have. As you can see here, they went straight for colonization. I definitely need to screw them over ASAP. And, well, that is going to be easy said and done, but that is the goal. Overextension is going to be most likely become a real issue here, so I might have to go through Golden Horde and everyone to more or less just get my ass over there and block them, but we'll have to see. Taking out the Hordes then becomes a real, well, of some importance more or less. We also have a Denmark army in Hispania, which is going to get joined by one of mine. But I think everything here will go fine. We'll just have to discover the Muscovite lands, and once we've done that, we should be able to make something work. Also, if I can piece out Denmark, they're definitely one. I am prepared that this war might actually last a decade, or 3, 4, 5 even. We'll just have to wait and see. It's kind of an awkward situation. We'll see how it goes. Well, the Muscovite and Denmark army is actually quite big and quite intimidating to some degree, but I should be able to deal with that. I'm also a little bit annoyed here that the notion, I believe this was said sometime later, that the distance that these guys could maximum retreat was 5 blocks. I have no idea if they actually changed that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's a little bit annoying, but again, not too much I can do about that. So what we will be doing here is joining up the armies. We'll be attacking, I think, that Muscovite army. I'm a little bit unsure if we really want to do that. Again, it's kind of a potential bad gamble doing so. They have quite a bit of forces here, but if the Danes run off like they are, then it's definitely the best option, I think. We'll just wait and see. So Denmark, if I were to try and piece them out, what would I require? If I offer to concede defeat, will you then accept my offer? Ally in war, like the war. So no, they're not really, well, they don't like the idea at all. But I do have a funny little news here. There's some Venetian troops in my lands, and they are going to get punished pretty soon. So that could get interesting, but for now I'll still focus on Muscovy, I think. We're going to attempt an attack here. It's not the best with my current general, but I do have a 5-shot guy, so I should be able to at least make something work. Why did I do that? So, if the Danes attack with only 10,000 men versus 20, then I would be very happy, but it seems like I didn't get that going for me, and as a result of that, wow, suddenly lost a ton of forces, which is a little bit surprising. So losses were about equal, which is a little bit annoying, but again, it's something I can live with. I think I might have to hire some more mercenaries if I want to win this, but let's face it, I'm pretty sure that I am best suited for a drawn-out war. Denmark is probably not, so we'll just have to keep on dragging this thing out, and then we'll probably get the result we're after. We'll have to wait and see. As I said, I am prepared to use a decade for this war and a lot of money. So all in all, it could get really dicey really fast. But if I can at least siege Moscow, then I'm pretty sure the war exhaustion here will probably work to my advantage. We'll have to wait and see. Another fairly good victory here, about 11,000 to 6, most of which were mercenaries. So again, we are doing fairly well here, but I still don't like the fact that the Danes have a pretty big army that's just hanging around the area, and otherwise being a obnoxious arse, more or less. So I'll have to deal with them, probably right away. And I'm trying to do that, but I'm suffering quite a bit of losses in doing so, which is not the best, admittedly. Of course it isn't. It's never good to lose a lot of forces. But I don't think I have too much of a choice here. I just have to keep on trying to beat them, and hopefully drive up the war exhaustion to the point where they'll just quit. And I think we are getting there. They have 5 war exhaustion as it is. They should be starting to feel it like I have. At least that's what I'm hoping for. When it comes to Venetians, or the other war, as I like to call it, the war with the Venetians here, it's a little bit more easier. They don't have that many... Oh, lord. Jesus Christ, this could get nasty. For those of you who can't read this, Austria declared war upon France. They cite succession war as a casus belli. I could get a French-Austrian super monster here. You know what? This is exciting and scary at the same time. I don't see Austria beating France. To be perfectly honest, even with their extensive list of allies, I don't see them beating France. On the positive side, this war could potentially open up the door for, well, war on France. So, all in all, I am happy, although I do sound a little bit too excited, I guess, but I'm really happy about this. It could definitely be useful for me. And I should probably also keep on fabricating claims, because I'm really bad at this at the moment. The Mamluks are also a target, but we have to wait for the war here with the Muscovites to end before we do anything out of that, or before we make anything out of that. Severe winter is a issue also right now. Where are you guys going? I'm going to actually attack that army. That's a little bit a bit of a gamble on your side, I think. Although I'm losing tons of men. Wait, what happened now? Spend no limit. Guess I can use money. What the hell? So again, they decide to be obnoxious assholes. Well, now I'm in kind of awkward spot. Venice doesn't like me, or everyone else doesn't like me. Or France-Austria war could be useful here too. Or I can use that to my advantage. But even so, the war here with Aragon is going to tax me quite a bit. I think it's just going to focus or force me to focus a lot of effort towards the war here, and that is going to be quite harsh to deal with. I am also out of manpower, so to speak, since I am losing. I lost that battle really badly, and manpower-wise, I am suffering quite a bit. If I am to win this, I need to get. I need to rely on mercenaries, only mercenaries for quite a while here, I think. We also have patriots in Tambo, so yeah, this is going to get really, really dicey, really, really fast. At least the Austrian-French alliance setup here could provide me with some benefits, but I do doubt that. I'm really uncertain how this will go. I don't like this one bit. Well, they are allied with England again, but England didn't join in. I think I'm just screwed at this point. I made too many mistakes. I might have to go for just releasing Georgia again. And the war up here has been far more taxing than I expected it to be, mostly due to the Danes being, well, obnoxious. What I think I might have to do here again is just try and keep this army alive. Most likely I will have to despawn it. Rely on mercenaries as much as is possible. See if I can deal with the enemy armies here quickly and painlessly, which is again very doubtful. But I'm really unsure how to handle this situation. Honestly, I am. Again, if I were to just try and piece out with the French use here, let's see. I'll have to wait for the fabrication of claims to be done, but what I'm hoping is that the Austrian and the French annihilate each other, because then I only have to worry about this army right here. I can beat that army. I can most likely siege the land, and if I can get that going, then I'm more or less saved. Muscovy is another, a bigger puzzle, and more annoying puzzle. I think the only way here for me to actually beat Muscovy is to drive up the war exhaustion to the point where patriots, rebels, everything rise up and kicks their ass. No, this is just getting ridiculous. Seriously, if you're going to do this, let everyone join in at once. Yeah, I'm pissed, but that's mostly just due to the fact that things are not going my way at all. So, the French actually sent an army down to me. I'm at war with Austria and Leinster. We're going to go to Granada and hide. We're just going to hide. But again, this is one of those weird spots where I don't know what to do. I'm really, really uncertain how to handle this. We'll have to wait until I get a diplomat and I'll see what I'll do. We're going to take next diplomacy idea here, diplomatic influence. With that, we get an increase in manpower recovery speed. I have no idea what that actually does, but we'll see. We also get an increased diplomatic influence, diplomatic reputation +5, income from vassals +10%. Good. Next one will be a little bit more important though. Aggressive expansion impact -5%. That one will be to some degree important, to be perfectly honest. And I could also go for the first religious idea here. I don't really want to. With all these wars going on, there will be things are going to get dicey. Let's just say that. France and Austria are war. They're currently annihilating their enemies' armies. Let's just say that. And I am currently in a position where I have a little bit of a mercenary army that I can potentially use to sieging. Connaught I will get in this war, the war with Venice. If I siege this, I'll probably get that too. So the goal here is to take that from Venice, take Connaught and this in a national war. The war with France, nothing is actually happening here. The French joined in, went into Castille, marched back, probably due to Austria, and then nothing happened. The Danes are about to give in this war, but manpower, again, we're running scarce on that, so I'm kind of in an awkward spot no matter how I look at it. And, of course, we have rebels, because who doesn't like them? But, yeah, I should probably have done that before I took that point, but it doesn't matter. As I said, I think I can make something work. It's just a matter of time picking my battles, and otherwise just, well, making sure that I do my, will do the right choices. The French are definitely going to be the biggest problem in this war. That's a certainty. As long as Austria and the French are at war, I have a chance. Especially if I manage to siege a certain area here. Because then I can most likely, make the French hand over potentially Valencia, Pyreneo, Girona. And if I can get just some more provinces, it will allow myself to do better. But I'm also very tempted to take Poitou and Gascogne if I can make something, or make a deal with the French. So there's a lot of what-ifs here. And I definitely need to get Denmark out of the Muscovite army. Muscovite war. As you can see here, the war exhaustion is going up, so they are considering it. But again, I'm missing 9 points. No, 8 points, sorry. And I'll just have to keep on going with that. There's not really much else to do here. They still have a pretty big army, a pretty big and decent army that I need to worry about. I might have to hire some more mercenaries in the north here. I think I will. We'll add 4 mercenary regiments there. And hopefully I can siege Venice before it becomes too much of a problem otherwise. But I have quite a lot of, well, war zones here, I guess I should say, that I have to pay attention to. And hopefully I can get the victory by the end. But again, this is one of those wars that are really, really a gamble. But the fact that they chose Holy War as the casus belli is probably in my best interest. Because as you can see here, I'm pretty sure I can white peace out later on, if I get screwed over. So I just need to win these smaller battles, and then I'm golden, more or less. So I'm very, very, very lucky with their choice of casus belli. And the only real issue here, as you can see, are the Danes. These guys have a really strong army for some reason. I'm beating them in discipline, I'm beating them in morale, I'm beating them in everything, but they are beating my troops pretty harshly, which is, again, a real surprise. The Danish army is a level 8 army, 1 tech behind mine. Muscovy is the same tech, which is a little bit surprising, and also potentially why they're beating my ass. 12,000 to, well, 4.5. I'm really screwed here, I think, so I'll have to consider what I'll do with Muscovy. They are far stronger than I anticipated. So they're definitely the bigger issue, per se, right now. So I think we are going to just keep on building forces and hopefully beat them down the line. I'm going to leave this army at home, more or less. So I'll have to deal with that as we go. This is a problem. That is a really big Castilian army that is marching towards us. So we're going to try and destroy this army before they reach us, which is fairly easily done, to be perfectly honest. And if I can destroy this Castilian army, then I'm basically set. If you consider that is, well, it's quite a bit of the army, not all of it, but a considerable amount, I can make something work here. That is at least what I'm hoping for. So I'll keep an eye. This is definitely the most important, well, scene of battle, if you want. And again, I don't like the fact that I have a really huge issue here. with the Danes and Muscovy. If I lose this war against Muscovy and I have to wait 5 years, potentially 20 years, just because I need to reinforce my troops, then I definitely have to try and go to the Golden Horde, Nogai, everyone, just to get my ass over there quickly enough to, well, potentially block them off. But right now it's definitely a gamble, a big gamble. So I'll have to wait. We'll have to wait for quite a while, which is bad. I think we're going to just try and siege Valencia and take that. I think that is my best bet right now. So we're going to move this army to Valencia, and hopefully then I can get that siege and make a peace with the French here. They aren't even willing to go for a wide peace here. That's because free relative strength of alliances, French military strength, all that. So I'm definitely screwed. Let's just say that. If I could piece any of these out, I might not be, but I can't, so I'm screwed. I'm really screwed. But again, remains to be seen how this all plays out. I'm having far more luck destroying these armies than I had with the Muscovite armies, just to give you guys a little bit of a, well, a picture. So, again, I'll just have to wait and see here. I'll try and siege, or do things so that I get the advantage. But piecing out with the French here is probably just the best way to go. Just try and hunt down enough 1,000 men armies to get that white piece. And that is what I'll do now. We'll just hunt them down. We'll see if we can get a white piece out of those, which I'm pretty sure we can. Potentially, I might have to concede defeat, but with Venice, with Austria, we're going to take these two provinces and Dalmatia. And then I'll have to deal with Muscovy after that. The main issue with Muscovy is, as I said, the Danes. They are the biggest problem. What I could go for is just taking, again, Ryazan, for instance, but that won't really help too much. Instead, if I force them to give up the deal with This is actually quite the interesting idea. If I leave Muscovy alone but force them to give up the deal with Denmark, Denmark is definitely what screwed me over here, and then I just prepare for another war with mercenaries and the whole. That might actually be the way to go here. But we'll wait. I have a little bit of time before they actually siege anything here, so we'll await the scenario and see what happens first. If I can get the Danes out of this, then I might be able to do something, but unless I can do that, we'll just have to wait. I know I'm repeating myself a lot here, but I'm running different scenarios in my head, and babbling is just what comes out. I'm 1 point away with Danes anyway, so we might be able to turn the tide here. We might. But again, this war here, we're definitely going to just screw everything. But I am tempted here. Again, coalition-wise, who am I at war with in the coalition? Who am I facing? Let's face this. Castille. Sorry. There we go. Venice, Austria, France. Austria, no, Brittany. The only two members of the coalition, and I'm not currently, or three members, sorry, that I'm currently at war with is Provence, Tyrone, England, and Scotland. So there are actually 4 members. But if you consider that, would it be beneficial for me here to declare war on on England? Would it really help? England is already in potentially in a way they might actually already have started colonizing. Declaring war on them is not a horrible idea. The biggest issue with that idea is, can I deal with their forces? England has 17,000 men with 30,000 manpower. They are a definite, well, potentially big power in the area that could be really, really annoying to deal with, no matter how I slice it. That's just the truth of the situation. So I think what we'll actually do here, well, this is kind of neat. But what I think we'll do here is, again, get a white peace with France. Not attack England this time. Focus mostly on Muscovy. Go for Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe. Just allow the colonizers that are currently alive to colonize. Once I annex Portugal, I'll, I think, discover quite a lot of land. So that's not really an issue. Potentially I can take exploration as my next idea set. The main issue is actually conquering Europe within the timeline. Because the problem is, as I said, Europe, there's just so many provinces in such a small area, which gives you an incredible amount of aggressive expansion. When it comes to this area, let's face it, if you try to put Europe in these 5 provinces here, you'd have 50. Now that's mean. we probably have about 10, 15. So there's twice the amount of provinces, which means that Europe needs to be always focused on. But I guess allowing them to colonize isn't that bad of an idea. The only thing I really need to do here is... yeah, I think I'll change my strategy here. I can't win in Europe. I'll just have to allow the aggressive expansion to cool down, take a province here and there when I can, and otherwise just go for white peace or whatever really I can do. When it comes to Muscovy, we'll try and eat them up. Cut them off from Asia ASAP, probably within the next 2 wars. That is the goal. We'll also go through Mamluks and Hejaz, take the southern area here. Use that as a basic colonization, colonize the area here, and of course over here. Basically make sure that Asia is mine. Europe is not to touch it at all. Africa will be a, well, they will be a priority, but it will be a secondary priority. Eastern Africa will be most important. And the New World, I'll just say screw it. The New World isn't that important. It's a colonizational area. I don't need to hold the provinces myself. I can hand them over to my vassals. I just need to put some mercenaries there once I get a lot of money. So all in all, it's not really an issue, per se, if, let's say, England, Denmark, everyone colonizes there. Because slowly but surely, I'll be eating them in Europe, and that will be the goal. Of course, if I can stop them, I will stop them, but that limits to what I can do. So we'll continue next time. I'll probably end all wars then, but we'll see what I can get out of them first. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment, praise, criticism, anything you feel like, and hopefully you don't feel this is going as badly as I do. We'll see how this goes next time. Bye.